in today's session of Divorce Court. When Roxanne met Patrick, he was dating her sister, and she had revenge on her mind.
So your sister started having sexual relations with your boyfriend?
Yeah.
So you started having sexual relations with her then boyfriend, Patrick, who became your husband?
Yeah. Well, how do you think I felt when in the middle of the night I get up to go downstairs to get a drink and he is moaning my sister's name?
And when she lost weight, Roxanne got a sexy new look.
I had been almost 400 pounds.
And that's when the sex was good? So she lost the weight and the intimacy left because the intimacy went from you to everybody else?
I started having affairs, yes.
Oh, now we get to it.
But her excuse for the affairs was that she wasn't getting any sex at home.
I could walk around nude, or I would go out and buy frilly negligees, and it was like I wasn't there.
She just lays around in bed, smokes cigarettes, watches TV.
You're like the wham bam thank you man, 3-minute man.
It's the case of Roxanne Kankelfitz versus Patrick Kankelfitz in today's session of Divorce Court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Roxanne Kankelfitz versus Patrick Kankelfitz. Now, this is an interesting case because I understand that you were able to live together for 11 years before you were married or date each other. You get married, and after 1 year, you're ready to end it. Explain that to me, Mrs. Kankelfitz.
Your Honor, the marriage is over. It's been over. It was over before it should have started.
That's a mouthful. It was over before it started. Why do you say that?
Because I didn't want sex then, and I didn't want it after we got married.
You didn't want sex with the man you married, and you didn't want it after you married him. So why'd you marry him? I understood you had a whole lot of sex going on.
Well, actually, we did have a lot of sex, but the problem is that there was no emotional connection beforehand. There was no snuggling, cuddling, talking. There was just no emotional connection.
So why were you able to live with him or date him for 11 years without all of this emotional connection? And suddenly when you got married, you thought it would be emotionally connected because you signed a piece of paper?
I guess both of us thought it would change, you know. I thought maybe, you know, with that commitment came the rest of it.
So you thought commitment equals sexual intimacy and connection?
Well, I hope so.
Oh, that's a new one. So when you marry him, a person that you've been with for 11 years, dating him and having sex with him, right?
Yeah.
Beforehand, no commitment, no intimacy, no romance?
When we first started out, sex was great. Lovemaking was wonderful.
As long as you were not married?
In the first few, in the first, 4 or 5 years of the relationship, it was great.
Was it intimate then?
Yes, it was.
Romantic?
Very much.
Foreplay?
Oh, yeah.
Everything you was looking for?
Yes.
Long as you were just not married to him?
Well, it turned after,
After 5 years?
About that. I had gotten my stomach stapled. I had been almost 400 pounds.
You were almost 400 pounds?
396 pounds, to be exact.
And that's when the sex was good?
Before that.
Oh, so he didn't change, you changed.
Yes, I did change. But
well, maybe he liked having sex with a larger woman. It was better for him.
Well, that may be, but he was in agreement with the surgery to have it done.
Is that right, Mr. Kankelfitz? After she had her surgery and lost weight, your sex life changed? You couldn't handle her being small?
No.
Why?
No, I couldn't. No, it didn't bother me that she was small.
Oh,
large.
well, what happened?
She was sleeping with everybody else.
Oh, that's what happened.
Well, if I would have been getting from you...
So she lost the weight and the intimacy left because the intimacy went from you to everybody else?
Yep, she'd go out to the bars and everything else and pick up different men.
But it was more than I got from you.
Oh, so she got cute, so she started picking up when she lost the weight?
That's right.
So you didn't change, she changed?
She changed. She felt more
Attitude
attractive.
changed?
Attitude.
But he wasn't paying no attention to me. I mean, I could walk around nude, or I would go out and buy frilly negligees, and it was like I wasn't there.
So tell me, what's the problem? Your point of view.
My point of view?
Yeah.
Where it went bad? That she doesn't want to have sex. She just lays around in bed, smokes cigarettes, watches TV. That's not very romantic.
She says that you're not romantic.
I'm not romantic. I try.
No, you're like the wham bam thank you man, 3-minute man.
Oh, now he's the 3-minute man.
Well, yeah, he's been...
Well, for 11 years, it sounds like you must have liked it only for 3 minutes until you found somebody else that's doing it more minutes.
Your Honor, I didn't cheat on him for the sex. If he would have given me some emotional connection, some talking, I mean, when you roll over afterwards and just go to sleep and snore all night, you know, and then I start finding playboys around the
Well,
house.
maybe he rolled over and went to sleep because you wore him out. Have you ever figured that out?
I don't think so, not out of
Maybe
3
it was
minutes.
that good to him, all he could do was roll over and go to sleep. Isn't that right,
3
Mr. Kankovitz? Is that what happened? I'm trying to help you out. Come on.
Yeah. No, she didn't wear me out. I just didn't find her attractive anymore.
So you liked her larger and voluptuous, so she wasn't attractive to you then?
No, she wasn't then.
So then what happened? You found her no longer attractive, and she found you no longer attractive.
Oh, I find him attractive. It's just that I don't like the 3-minute part. And then he rolls over and goes to sleep and nothing beforehand.
Well,
I
tell
don't
me
like the
something,
skeleton either.
Ms. Kankovitz, all of a sudden, because you lost weight, it got to be 3 minutes? Or was it 3 minutes all along?
No, it was after that. I started having affairs, yes.
Oh, now we
I don't,
get to it.
But, you know, he was with my sister beforehand.
But wait a minute, if you're having an affair with somebody, now you want to complain that his is only 3 minutes, you must have found somebody who went longer. Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
So you were
But
no longer...
I also got the emotional part. I got the talking. I got the, you know, being cuddled for even 20 minutes
Well, so
afterwards.
now let's be honest. So he was no longer good to you. That's what it's all about.
Not emotionally, no.
Now you're going to tell me that a man that you're with for 6 years, all of a sudden, there's no emotion there. Before that, it was okay for you, but suddenly
It was
it's
great
not.
before that.
Okay. So you went on to somebody else?
Not just one person, no.
Not just one? No. What you doing, running a hair?
No.
No, there's plenty.
No, and granted, I cheated on him. He cheated on me also.
But you're running around in, you said, several affairs. So it sounds to me like nobody is emotionally connecting to you, if that's what you're looking for.
Well, I wasn't just looking. I didn't want to leave him.
So you were just trying out different men to see which one you were going to go to. You were testing the waters.
Kind of, yeah, I guess, yeah.
So you still don't love yourself. You know why? Because you're cheating yourself.
But
You're making yourself real cheap testing all those waters, you know.
Well, it's not like I went out with 20 people.
Well,
you know.
2 is too many. You're cheapening yourself.
That's how he made me feel.
Don't blame him. That's your body that you're taking to those other men.
Well, that's true, but if I'm not getting emotional, what I need from him,
So
I'm
why are
going to
you
get
going
it
to
somewhere
several
else.
other men? It sounds like you're not getting it from them either. So it's not emotion that you're looking for. You're just getting sexually gratified.
I'm not interested in the sex. The sex seems to go hand in hand with it. You know, it gets me in the mood to have sexual relations. It turns me on.
So anybody who touches you is going to have that
No.
effect.
No.
I think so.
When divorce court returns, the judge tries to untangle a very twisted web.
So your sister started having sexual relations with your boyfriend.
Yeah.
So as a result, you started having sexual relations with her then boyfriend, Patrick, who became your husband.
Yeah.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce Court is back in the case of Roxanne Kankovitz versus Patrick Kankovitz, as she testifies about her husband dating her sister before they got married.
And what were you saying something about him being with your sister?
Yes, he was with my sister before we met, you know, and because she had cheated on with my boyfriend, my fiance, and I took him away from her. But see now,
Wait a minute. Your sister was dating
him,
your husband now?
yeah,
And the two of you started dating?
because she cheated on me.
And
Well,
she was dating your boyfriend?
She was having sexual relations with him.
So your sister started having sexual relations with your boyfriend?
Yeah.
So as a result, you started having sexual relations with her then boyfriend, Patrick, who became your husband?
Yeah. But
Well,
then
what did
that
you
wasn't
expect
even the
from
worst
that kind
of it.
of relationship?
Well, that was the worst of it. The worst of it was finding Playboy magazines around the house.
Oh, you started this whole thing wrong. You didn't even go into it right. You went into it with him to get even with your sister.
It started out that way.
So you weren't honest with him. You weren't emotionally connected to him.
He knew it because he knew what was going on too with them.
What is she saying about you? You just an idiot or something? You know a woman doesn't want you. She just wants you to be, because she's getting even with her sister and you went for it? You didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, you
What
did.
makes you
I did
think that?
not.
You did too.
Oh, so you
not.
told him to say, I just want you because I want to get even with my sister.
Well, no, there was attraction there also, but I
Oh.
was mad as hell at my sister.
Is this the first time you heard this? That she only wanted you to spite her sister?
Yes, and
How does that
That's-
make you feel?
makes me feel about this big.
About that big, huh?
That big. Make me feel like I'm worthless and useless.
Well, how do you think I felt when in the middle of the night I get up to go downstairs to get a drink and he's moaning my sister's name?
He's calling out your sister's name?
Yeah, that's what was the final straw when I said, get the hell out.
So your little scheme of having him to spite your sister didn't work because mentally he never let go. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Oh, that's what
And that
sometimes
hurts.
happens. You know that?
and that hurts.
It hurts.
Yeah.
And it makes him feel good that you're out with other men and you don't like him anymore and he's the 3-minute man. I mean, you have
Well,
called
it's not like he's Mr. Innocent in it all.
Nope, I'm not innocent in all of it, no. At least I didn't sleep with our landlord.
So let me hear your
I
side
don't
of
have a
it.
paternity
Sleeping with the
case.
landlord.
Yeah, she was sleeping with our landlord.
I've heard of the mailman and the milkman, and now it's now the landlord.
It wasn't
Well,
as
she
bad
wanted
as
to
it
get the
sound-
rent paid. Don't you understand? Did it work? Did you get the rent paid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't pay rent for months. Months.
And it was the rent for him too?
Well, yeah, he was there off and on.
Well, I didn't have to pay it.
Now, what can the court do for you? Because obviously you need to be apart because you never should have been together.
I've got 2 dogs, and the one that he all of a sudden wants, my dogs give me more connection, more attention, more affection. More affection is the word.
The dogs give you more affection than the human.
Than he does.
Now, you want this dog that provides you all this emotional attention.
In April, my dog that I had, my Shih Tzu, passed away. And about 3 or 4 days after that, he took me to the pet store and he bought the puppy for me. It's a Silky Terrier, and he wrote out the check. He paid for it, but the dog was put into my name.
Did you buy her a dog?
Did I buy the dog? Yes, I bought the dog.
Was it a gift to her?
I bought it for the family because we lost a family pet.
You lost a family puppy.
Right.
So the 2 of you have children?
2.
Yes, we have 2 children.
So you bought a dog for the household.
The thing of it was, is after we separated the last time and decided, okay, no more, it's time for a divorce. He agreed he'd pay for the divorce.
If you give him the dog?
Yeah, if I'd give him back the dog. Because
Okay.
he knows I can't afford all the filings, all the lawyers, and stuff like that.
So
I'm
he
on a
agreed to
fixed
pay for the divorce if you give him back the dog?
Yeah, but I can't do that because it'd be like giving away one of my kids.
But you can't afford to pay for the divorce filings yourself.
No.
If you get a job, you probably be able to afford a divorce. So you sit home
I
and
don't
do
wanna
anything.
work.
No, you never work. That's our
Excuse
whole
me?
problem.
I don't want to work, Your Honor.
You spend more money than I make.
You don't want to work.
No, I don't. I would also like the camper that we bought together. When,
Oh, but now you bought the camper together.
Well, yeah, we did.
And you want that too.
Yeah, because that was the last place we had good sex. I mean, he wasn't the 3-minute man, and I got, snuggling.
So you
and
want the camper because when you had sex in the camper it was more than 3 minutes?
Oh, it was longer than that. And plus, I mean, there was this leading
When was
up
this,
to it.
before or after? So
Both.
now you want to keep it as a memory of
Yes.
this terrible person who couldn't last more than 3 minutes.
I mean, just the sexual part is not
But I'm
the
saying you want
part.
the camper because that's the last place
Yes.
you had good sex.
Yes.
With him.
Yes.
So now you're going to use it to try having good sex with somebody else?
No, Your Honor.
What you going to do with the
I
camper?
have no interest. I'm going to use it.
To do what?
Well, camping in the summer with my kids.
With
Well,
what?
you didn't say anything about camping. You said it's the last place you had good sex.
Well, we were on a camping trip when we had that.
So you just wanted to keep both dogs, don't give him any money, and keep the camper.
I would be willing to give up the camper if I can at least keep my dog.
Oh, so now you're getting a little reasonable.
Yes,
Okay. So the camper you'll give up if
Yes.
you keep both dogs.
if I can keep my dogs.
What about you, Mr. Kankafitz? How you feel about that?
Nope.
No what?
Nope. I don't want the camper. I'll take the camper, but
I thought you said you wanted the
Well, I
camper
want
because
the
that's
camper,
the only
but I'm
place
not-
that's sacred to you.
I'm not going to take it just to give up the 2 dogs.
How much did the dogs cost?
The one dog, the little terrier, was $526, I think.
And you just bought that dog.
$500.54.
Oh, you have the receipt.
Yes,
How much was it?
$500.54. And I also
And you
have
just bought that dog recently.
in April.
Yeah.
And he's got mad because I cooked for my dogs.
But she won't cook for me.
Well, he's an adult. He can cook
This
for himself.
is worrying me. I'm going to take a break.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict.
I know it may be a hard pill to swallow, but swallow it.
And an update on the case of Jody Croon versus Danny Croon.
2 days after you were married?
Yeah.
The love was gone that fast?
Yep.
Divorce court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce court is back and the verdict is in the case of Roxanne Kenkelfitz, who says she married her husband Patrick just to upset her sister.
I want to destroy those pictures. We're back in the matter of Roxanne Kenkelfitz versus Patrick Kenkelfitz. Mrs. Kenkelfitz, you can't have everything your way. Now, what's the value of the other dog that you have? What would you say that dog is worth?
Well, she's a mixed breed. She, I would say probably $200.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
And what's the value of the camper?
About $600.
Okay, here's the order of the court. I'm going to award the dogs to you, Mrs. Kenkelfitz, but I'm going to order you to pay Mr. Kenkelfitz $150 as equalization. I'm going to award the camper to Mr. Kenkelfitz. Now, you didn't ask me to make this award at all, but you made a very interesting comment that I have to comment on, that you don't want to work. There are a lot of us that don't want to work, but you have 2 children. Mm-hmm. Taking care of your children is not Mr. Kenkelfitz's responsibility only.
No, I agree.
And taking care, I'm glad you do,
sorry.
but I don't need you to.
I'm sorry.
And taking care of yourself is not Mr. Kenkelfitz's responsibility only. So if you don't work, that means you rely on him to provide for you or some other man or some other person. And I believe, I left my documents, you have 2 other children not by Mr. Kenkelfitz. Isn't that right?
That's true.
And they're minors too.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
So you have children expecting everybody else to take care of you and your children. It's your responsibility too, not just the father's. This is a 2-way street. So either you go to work or you find some other means to make a financial contribution to those children. Otherwise, that means that only Mr. Kenkelfitz is contributing to their support. Is there anything wrong with you, the reason you can't work?
No.
Or you just don't want to work?
I just don't want
Well,
to.
I'm here to tell you it's a lot of us that don't want to. But until and unless you're blessed with the ability not to have to work because of financial circumstances that put you in that position, you need to go find a job. I know it may be a hard pill to swallow, but swallow it.
Yes, Your Honor.
I wish you well. Mr. Kenkelfitz, I wish you well. That's the order of the court. Court is adjourned.
Thank you,
All
Your Honor.
rise.
When divorce court returns, an update on the case of Jody Croon versus Danny Croon.
And so what did you do?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Are you listening?
You know what? I'm listening real well.
Closed captioning for divorce court provided by. If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in divorce court. Jody Croon said she wanted to end her 2-year marriage to Danny because he was abusive. But Danny said Jody started throwing punches as soon as they got married.
2 days after you were married?
Yeah.
The love was gone that fast?
Yep. Well, she hit me in the face with a barbecue grill on top of a barbecue
This little
grill.
woman hit you in the face with a barbecue
Yeah.
grill?
She kicks me between the legs, holding
That's
a little
not
baby
true.
walking down the steps.
Not true.
You mean the groin?
Yes.
So what did you do?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Are you listening?
You know what? I'm listening real well. It's not my listening that's the problem, it's your communicating that's the problem.
They came to court because they both refused to give the other back their personal items. The judge ordered them to exchange the items. Danny was angry that his own mother had sided with Jody in their dispute, but he now says he has since reconciled with his mom.
Well, the judge's verdict, I feel really good that how it worked out. I got what I wanted.
I agree with the verdict, but I think he should have just gotten the camper and I shouldn't have had to pay him anything for it. But otherwise, at least I keep my dogs.